Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about that guy, the King. And we're going to talk about some of the pieces in my collection that I've gotten from bandmates of Elvis, some signed items and things like that. We're also going to be talking about a really rare 45 that I picked up years ago in Tennessee that I think is one of my favorite pieces in this whole collection of rock and roll stuff. So it's going to be a show about Elvis today. Stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy it. And even if you're not into Elvis, I think you'll find some of this stuff pretty interesting. So let's get into it. So here's one of the strangest pieces in my collection. It's a full-size statue of Elvis I picked up in Massachusetts, and I got it at an antique show, but apparently it was out in front of a casino somewhere for a long time. It's one of the original statues made. It's an original Shure microphone from the 50s that I've added to it. It is fully life-size. Hard to see. I've got some stuff in front of it there, but that is one of the more bizarre things in my music room. So here's a piece from my collection that I was so excited to get. This is an original Elvis Sun record from 1955, and Mystery Train, great song, and The Real Thing. And this was something I never thought I'd own, and was one of those records that was just going to remain out there forever. It's not in the most fantastic shape, but it's real and it's genuine. And matrix number, if you can see it, it's down there. Pretty stoked to own that one. That was a massive find. I got this in a record store in, I think it was in Tennessee, but it could have been in Kentucky. It was around the same day we were in both states, and I don't remember. It's years ago now. But this is a big deal find for me. I was very excited to find that. And actually, I have another one already. This is Baby Let's Play House. And this copy has one of the telltale markers for original Elvis records. You can see here there's some small circles, one right there and one right there. And there is one up here as well. And that was from the stampers that they used back then. This one has that indicator on here. When you see original Elvis 45s, there's a lot of fakes and reissues. They almost have in here almost a milky whiteness to them. It's the best way I can describe it. They're not solid black like a normal record would be. They're thick in here as well. And the labels just feel very, I guess, old, for lack of a better word. This one has some damage to the second side. There's some staining on here or something, but it plays better. But these are just something I never thought I'd ever own, and I was so thrilled to get them. He only did 5, and these are 2 of the 5 that he did. And it's just something I'm really excited to have as part of the collection. If you're getting into collecting old Sun Record 45s, there's a couple of real challenges. And one is there's reissues that look very much like the original. So I'm going to show you an example here. This is a reissue of Jerry Lee Lewis's Great Balls of Fire. And it looks very similar to what the original would look like. This is the original, and there's not a ton of difference between the two. This has somebody's name on it, but you can see there's just a slight difference in the color of the yellow and the brown. There's a little bit more of a richer, deeper tone to the original than there is to the reissue. That milkiness around the outside in the vinyl part is on here, and this is different on this one. I shouldn't be touching that there, should I? These are kind of how they compare to find an original and a reissue. It's very, very hard to tell. It's very close. And then the matrix numbers are different on the reissues as well. That's a couple of things to look for when you're collecting old Sun records. But that's the real deal. The other thing that's really challenging, I think, for somebody where I live is I live in Canada, every Sun record that was ever made crossed the border and suddenly became a quality record. So this is the same Sun record, A and B side here, but as soon as it crossed the border, it became a quality record, and Quality had the distribution rights to all of those Sun and Chess and some early Atlantic and things like that. There's a lot of different labels, Delphi I think they had, and everything became a quality record. So to find these where I live is next to impossible, because the Sun label it never came across as a Sun record. It came out as a quality record. There's a couple of 45s that I was so happy to find and to pick up. I'm not the world's biggest Elvis fan. I like a lot of that early stuff a lot, though, and I think that early period of rock and roll, between him, let's say Fats Domino, Little Richard, and Chuck Berry, that really did help to solidify what was going on, and Elvis helped to bring it to white audiences. Let's be honest. And he added a charisma that was missing with Bill Haley and people like that before him. So I think Elvis is important for many, many reasons, but certainly this early era of stuff is pretty remarkable, and a lot of new ground being covered musically, with sort of this evolving genre becoming rockabilly. That was happening, and one of the reasons that was really kind of starting to happen was the guitar playing of Scotty Moore. And when I was starting to collect some Elvis items, I'm a big autograph collector, and I know finding an Elvis autograph is going to be difficult and very expensive. And maybe one day I will, but not yet. But I really, while he was alive, wanted to get an autograph from Scotty Moore, and I reached out through his website to see if that could happen, and I did receive one. So I was really, really happy to get that. So I'll show you that in a second. And I also thought it'd be cool to get anybody else who was still living that played with Elvis on these early recordings and things. And I did get drummer DJ Fontana to sign a drum head for me. And I used to own a small rock and roll museum, and he personalized it to the museum, which is pretty cool. So DJ Fontana and Scotty Moore were added to my autograph collection, and I have one more, and I'll show you these two first, and then I'll show you that one. So this is the photo Scotty Moore sent to me. It is hand signed. It's a great shot of him and Elvis. I was very, very pleased to get this. He also sent me this guitar pick with their famous TCB, taking care of business. Even though he did play with his fingers quite often, he did use a pick in later years, and I was just so happy to get this. But a great shot of Elvis and Scotty, and hand signed by Scotty Moore himself from these great early recordings. Scotty played on all of the early ones, Hound Dog, Jailhouse Rock, all that stuff. Just an amazing guitar player. And the other one I received was this signed drumhead from DJ Fontana. And it hangs in the rafters here at my studio, but I was really happy to get that one as well. Longtime drummer of Elvis's, and that goes up here with some of the other signed albums across the top here. But super, super happy to get that. Another Elvis-related autograph that I did receive was from James Burton, and James Burton is killer Telecaster player who played with Elvis in the early 70s. And I wrote him and just said I'd be interested in a signed photo if that's possible for the collection here. And he wrote me a great letter back, which was really cool, and sent me this photo. So I was very happy to get that. James Burton is really well known in a lot of circles. He's the guitarist who played the lead on Ricky Nelson's Hello Mary Lou, and at that time kind of accidentally invented a style of guitar playing known as chicken picking, and he became really, really well known for that style and helped pioneer country music today. But here he is with Elvis in the early 70s in a great photo. And just really, really an awesome guy, and I'm so grateful that he was able to send me this. Another pretty interesting piece of Elvis memorabilia in my collection is this backstage pass from a show in Dallas in the early 1970s that I got from somebody associated with that tour. And this would have been just somebody who worked in the building during those shows, but pretty cool to have an Elvis backstage pass. And I don't know, I really like this piece. It's pretty cool. So there's some of my favorite Elvis pieces in my collection, pieces that I've got some sort of story with or related to, or just something I connect with, I guess. But he's an artist that is certainly one of the most important in the history of music, and I'm going to put a photo up here that is a pretty famous photo now that was discovered a few years back that is, well, I guess the idea was there's a woman that was taking her film in to be developed at a drugstore, and she had one picture left on the roll, and took a picture of this young kid with his bike out in front of the store, and it was Elvis at around 14 years old. So pretty cool picture, and you wonder if that kid knew what was coming. Pretty wild. So one of the things I like to do when I go into schools and lecture on rock history is I like to start by showing two records. I like to show by starting Elvis's first record with the RCA label, kind of his first full-length record, and that within 20 years he was gone and we're here. So in a 20-year period, we went from Hound Dog to London Calling by The Clash, and the year he passed away. So as a tribute, they copied the cover and did their thing with that, but a lot of you probably know that, but it's just cool to see. And what an impact he left. So that's some of my favorite Elvis items. I hope you like that. Tune in next time, and we'll see you then.